Obviously, we're not satisfied or happy with the effort, but I thought at times our guys played better tonight. Definitely played better. Defensively handled the tempo, moved the ball a little bit more on offense. Obviously, you'd have liked to have been able to gain a yard on the goal line, but overall, some progress on our part. I think Windmare's a very good football team. We knew they'd be tough, to be physical on both sides of the ball. And once again, we'll continue to show up tomorrow and get better and get ready for JMU next week.
Coach, I'm curious what kind of halftime adjustments you made because I feel like there was a distinct difference in the offense from the first half to the second.
Well, we didn't feel great about running the ball, and we wanted to try to let our skill guys make some plays on the perimeter. Obviously, when you come into a game like that against a team like that, you have to make sure that you're doing what you have to do to protect your defense. So, if you're throwing the ball all over the place in the first half and the clock's not moving, then you're making your offense play more snaps. And what we wanted to do was try to limit William and Mary snaps on offense with some of our offense. And I think at the half they had played 14 more snaps than we had, and that was better than last week. But in the second half we decided to just kind of open it up and let the guys play. And I think we found one of the strengths of our football team is probably going to be throwing the football.
Was it part of the game plan at all to throw more to the middle of the field in the second half? Because I feel like that is where some big plays happen that you're able to take advantage of.
Well, they played a lot of one high safety defense, which gave us some vertical opportunities down the field. Pooty was able to take advantage. Big throw to Chuma, big throw to Isaiah Winstead. Nice job by George Wahi making a play in space there. We're going to have to use those guys, and I thought that gave us the ability to run the ball a little bit better. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to line up and knock people off the ball, so we've got to spread people out and find creative ways to help our offensive line.
Aaron, coming into this season, red zone offense is something that you guys really wanted to work on. So when you get down to the 1 yard line, you're not able to punch it in. Is that something that the running backs kind of take responsibility for?
I don't think so. I guess that's a decision that Coach Scott and Coach Ferrigelli have to make. So all we do is get the plays and we run them. It's not so much of what we want to do. They're the coaches for a reason. So.
Kyle, what's the motivation of the defense at this point, being in both games? But it still seemed like you guys play with a lot of enthusiasm. So where are you drawing that motivation from?
We want to win. Point blank period. Like, we got to stop the ball. That's all it is. That's all the motivation I need and our defense needs, to be honest with you.
What do you think you guys did differently? Because especially in the first half, it seemed like you guys were doing really good with penetrating the offensive line with pass rushes and hurries. What did you guys do defensively?
We executed our game plan. I think so. Well, some things happen, but you got to keep playing. So we just keep playing. That's all we really can do. Sometimes you get the bear get you.
Coach, is there a sense that Pootie's kind of becoming the guy? Because it seems like when you guys need a spark, that he's the guy that comes in to lead the drive.
He's progressing. He's progressing tremendously. We'll watch the tape tomorrow, but we said coming in that it doesn't matter who starts the game, doesn't matter who finishes the game. The great thing is that we've got two of them. But I think he did a tremendous job tonight. He got beat up a little bit and kept coming back in the game. He's a tough young man, and we got him here for a long time. So we'll continue to be creative with what we do with him offensively.
Pootie, first of all, are you okay? Because you took that big shot. Are you feeling all right?
Yes, sir. I'm good.
Did you just get a cut on your jaw?
Yeah, I guess his helmet kind of got under my helmet and got a little cut.
What did you focus on over this past week to improve?
My technique, my mechanics, like reading coverages, and my drop, my feet, like how it works, and timing.
Do you feel yourself developing a rapport with any specific receiver? It seemed like you and Isaiah were on the same page a lot.
Well, if you didn't know, me and Isaiah Winstead went to the same high school, so we had a connection already. Trying to build another connection with the other wide receivers, Chuma, George Wahi, and I threw with Marcus 1 year in high school when I was a sophomore. So I'm trying to get a connection with everybody so I can spread the field open and throw the ball.
Aaron, what was the mental response you think the team had coming in after that loss last week? What was the whole attitude of the team that you sensed in this week ahead of this game?
We approached it with a work mentality. Like Coach Scott always said, regardless of what the outcome is, we got to come back the next day and go to work, whether it's a win or a loss. So, obviously, losing is going to leave a salty taste in your mouth. So I feel like we kind of had a bit more of a spark from that loss last week, but we got to approach every week with the same mentality.
Coach, again, for another week, it seems like you guys are always in third and longs. Are you trying to think of a different approach to take to stop getting into those situations?
Yeah, we got to play better on first down. A couple of missed checks, a couple of negative yardage plays. When you can stay ahead of the change, you've got a great chance to be successful. Obviously, we open the first play of the game, 2nd and 5, so you can kind of move the ball a little bit. But we did a good job keeping us off track and keeping us off balance, and I think that's just part of football. Is it negative yardage plays and 0 yardage plays are going to hurt you, especially when you get behind the chains against a good football team. But like I said, we'll come back and continue to do what we can do offensively, and try to make sure we stay out of those situations.
Aaron, what do you think you did well tonight? You broke open a couple big runs. What was the key for you tonight?
I don't think that was so much of what I did well. The offensive line did a tremendous job, moving guys around and knocking them off the ball. So all I do is read what they're doing and try my best to get upfield.
Kyle, with the team now 0-2 and going against the defending champions next week, where do you see the mentality of the team coming in?
We got nothing to lose, everything in the game. I'm looking forward to it. You know what I'm saying? This is a great measurement. You want to play the defending national champions. Everybody wants to. You got to bring your best game. I'm looking forward to it, honestly.
Pooty, your thoughts on facing the defending champs?
Same as Kyle said. I'm looking forward to it too. See where we're at.
Right. Coach, are you happy with the management changes that you made? Do you think they paid off this week?
Well, I'm not happy about losing the football game, but I think we all improved. I think just my overall approach to the game and the way that we managed the sidelines and handled our players was much better this week, than it was a week ago. I think you could see the way our kids played. They played more loose. They played with a little bit more enthusiasm. We had a little bit more enthusiasm on the sidelines from their teammates, and we'll continue to do it. And, as far as going to Harrisonburg, that's where we want to go. That's who we want to be as a program in the near future. And, you have to know what it's like to play teams like that if you want to be good, because coming into conference play, we've got good football teams in our conference too. So JMU will be really our last, kind of a litmus test before we get into conference play.
And lastly, Coach, do you see yourself honing in on one guy for quarterback and running back, or do you still see yourself rotating a plethora of guys?
Well, what's the difference between that and the question you asked me before about the quarterback situation?
Well, this one I'm including the running backs.
Okay. All right. Well, as I said, we're going to continue to try to play. I mean, as you see tonight with the quarterback situation, Pooty gets knocked out for a play. If Trip Harrington has never played a snap in a college game, then we're doing our team a disservice. And at running back, I don't think there's anybody in the country that plays one running back. I think you got to have 2 or 3 guys that are capable of carrying the ball. Those guys are getting hit every play, and I think we're fortunate enough to be able to have guys that can carry the ball. So we're going to continue to keep playing the guys that we got to play, because we do have a lot of, young football players. And the more snaps that those guys get, the better off they're going to be down the road when they have to play, in big game situations.
Coach, you mentioned those young players. They struggled a little bit last week, especially like the wide receivers. They really played well this week. How do you grade their progression from last week to this week? Then moving to next week, do you feel more comfortable with getting those guys more reps?
Well, I don't think we dropped nearly as many balls as we did last week. Obviously, the catches that I've seen Isaiah Winstead make 1,000 times, he made them tonight. I've seen Chuma Wana make that play in practice. I've seen George Wahi make that play in practice. So those guys took it upon themselves to come out and play better. And it's a pride thing in that room. That wide receiver room is a very prideful room, and Coach Roberts does a great job with those guys. And they were sick about it last week. But we've got a lot of improvement to continue to make across the board, and we'll just keep working it.
And I know you schedule these games to see what your team could be. From week 1 to week 2, how do you think you besides the losses, you're gauging those first 2 weeks?
I just think our effort and our fight was better this week. You're not going to beat anybody scoring 6 points. So, we've got to make sure that we're getting points on the board. I think if our defense can hold people to 20 points a game, that's a winnable football game. So we've got to make sure that offensively we can do more things to get ourselves situated and score when we have the opportunity. But I'm not down on my team by any stretch. Those guys played until the final snap against what I think is a good William & Mary team. I told the guys, I don't know how good UVA is, but they lost to UVA 28-10 last week, and they came in here and scored 20 points against our defense, and I think our kids played hard and played fairly well. We didn't play well enough to win, and like I said, we'll just keep competing.